Hi beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm glad you're here. My name is Abimbola and people call me Abby, and this space is all about faith, prayer and walking closely with God. If it won't build your faith, you won't find it here. We are pregnant, yay! So I'm grateful to God for how far he has brought us. So we are 3 years and a few months married today. I think I will have to count because it's going to be like we're going to be 4 years later this year, and we're having our first baby. We had like a planned wait and we had an unplanned wait, and that story is going to be in another video. So make sure you like and subscribe so you can get all the tea about the planned and the unplanned wait. It's a long story. I may probably cut it into parts, but make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can have all the tea about it. While we had the planned wait, I was getting overwhelmed. I think my husband actually thought that I was being very dramatic, but I don't think I was, because he's a faith man, so he was just kind of it's gonna happen, don't worry. But I was like, please, it's already a couple of years now and nothing, no show you get. I think most times we get worried about the things that we are hoping for, but because the waiting season is not exactly very easy, and I know that you would agree with me. Even if you're waiting for a baby, you're waiting for like a job, you're waiting for a visa, that waiting season, it choke. God is faithful because we are sure that the plans and the thoughts of God towards us are thoughts of good and not of evil, to meet an expected end, and God is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think. I had all of this in mind. I had scriptures in mind. I prayed with scriptures, but there was still the parts where I was still wondering what is going on. And there was a point where, like, anytime I was doing my personal prayer, God always drops it on my heart that it's time to pray for like pregnant women and people who are expecting children. And I'm like, I pray, of course I'm going to pray, I pray for them, but I'm like, are you seeing me, God? What's happening? Me, I'm here, So it was more like, okay, I pray for this set of people, and it was a bit overwhelming, and decided not to speak about it. Well, you have all the gist in another video. I think it was only once or twice that my parents spoke to me about it throughout 3 years. They didn't talk about it. So my parents are like very chill. They don't like putting their children under pressure. So they didn't, speak about it. Anytime that they spoke about it was more like when I come and carry my grandchildren. You understand? They must have been worried. The time my mom asked me about it, I was like, why worry when you can pray? That was exactly the response I gave her. She's like, I'm worried. What's going on? I think that was even like in our 3rd year already. And I was like, Mommy, why worry when you can pray? I'm not even bothered. Don't worry. Just pray. Just pray to God about it. You will not know that even me in my own head, I have prayed, I have cried, I was like, God, what's going on? Then shortly after, I think they probably spoke about it. My dad also asked me that oh, there's no problem. I was like, there's no problem. I said the same thing to him. I said, why worry when you can pray? I just gave them that response, and that was the only time they spoke to me about it. My parents-in-law, it was more like, the playful, baby. There was no pressure, like we were not under any pressure. But here I was, putting myself under pressure. I was ignoring all the realities that, okay, there is no pressure, I can trust God. I know that God is able to do more than I have asked for. I just wanted it to happen. That self-inflicted pressure, that was what I was doing. And to be honest, I didn't need all of that. So I got to a point where I said, see, I'm just going to focus on my workouts. I started going to the gym, eating healthy, focus on my life, content creation, spreading the word of the gospel, and my business, focus on my work, my 9 to 5. I was like, well, please, I'm not even going to stress myself. Just focus on other things. And I took my mind off it. When I took my mind off it was when it happened. I did mention that the only time my brother asked me was January 2025. And I didn't even know that at this time I was already pregnant. How did I find out I was already pregnant? I found out I was pregnant in a dream. Towards the end of December and January, I was feeling sick, so I felt okay, because that's like winter period, right? And I was having a cold generally. Well, it was really cold, and I was like, maybe that was just it. And I did not even suspect anything. So there was a day I dreamt in January, early January. In that dream, I and my husband went to the GP. It's more like a mini clinic that people go to. So we went to the GP surgery in that dream, and the doctor was talking to us, and he was like, even though you're 4 weeks pregnant, but like, wait, come back, like, say it again. What did you just say? And I was screaming, we're happy and rejoicing, and I woke up, and I'm like, what sort of dream is this? And what sort of dream is this one? I was like, I beg. But I was like, this one I don't even be feeling so well. I had just one test strip at home. I was like, let me just take the test. And when I was eating for the test, I was just sitting down, and I was like, what? But let's just get this over and done with, I beg. Because I've had quite a number of negatives. So when you get so many negative responses in life, you probably get to a point where you're not expecting anything positive. Lo and behold, the two red lines were staring at me in the face, and I'm like, what's going on? Is this good? Is this real? I was shocked. I knew I had to do like a follow-up test, because I and my husband we've had like a false positive before. God, that day was so painful. But I'll tell you about it later. So we've had like a false positive before, and when we confirmed, it was negative. So I was like, okay, let me not rejoice yet, even though the lines were red. Like sometimes when it's like very early in the pregnancy, you will just see like faint lines, but this one was red. When you see that test, you know, okay, this is actually like a positive result. But I was like, please, let's just do another one. I did more tests, like I think about 2 more tests, and all of them were positive. So I had 3 positive test results. I was amazed, and I called my husband. Like, now thinking back, I'm like, I didn't plan this very well. What I should have probably done was, put some drama to it and do like a pregnancy review kind of thing. When I told him, he was still surprised, like, okay, and we dashed together. So grateful to God. God is faithful. If you're in your waiting season, I want to assure you that God knows what to do. When I looked back at the timing, it was more like God actually had plans. Those times I was disturbing myself, I was just getting bothered for nothing, because when I look back, this is the time that we actually needed this testimony. This time is the best time. And you know what they say, God's time is always the best. There are seasons, there are times for everything, and God is faithful. God is faithful to carry you through your waiting season, and God is faithful to bring you into your answered prayers. So I'm going to bring in a Bible verse, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 11, and it says, He has made everything beautiful in His time. Also, He has set the world in their hearts, so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. God's timing would always be the best. Thank you for watching today's video. Like I said, the next video would be about my planned and unplanned weight. Feel free to watch more faith-filled videos on this channel. Till next time, love you. Bye. Red, redder than the reddest.